Hi there, welcome back to the Noah Presgrove case. Today I wanted to share with you some new interesting findings, a very suspicious message which was posted on one of the Facebook pages, I believe the public one, named Noah Presgrove's Army, and it's actually from the owner of the house where the party took place and where Noah was last seen back on around about September 4th, 2023. Now, in terms of how it's been worded, it's a screenshot, I guess, from either a DM or an actual post comment section on Facebook, but it's how it's worded and things hinted and dropped on. And it just makes it sound like that the owner of the house is responsible. Not saying it's for definite, but how they word things, they've buried themselves into a bit of a hole. Today, I want to share that photo with you, read over the text, read over the comment or message, and I want to know your thoughts on the matter. Do you think it's highly suspicious, or is it taken out of context? That's what we're going to be doing today. In addition, I want to have a brief look at the autopsy photo diagrams. Not a direct photo of Noah, but the diagrams, as I forgot to include it yesterday because of the reader mode when I was looking at the latest news and whatnot. If you'd like to catch up on my recent videos, such as last night, top right corner of the screen where the eye symbol is, click on that, you'll be able to find it there. I also want to highlight before we go any further, welcome to any new people that have come along to this channel and those that have helped in answering questions, etc. I do have a secondary video coming out later tonight, which will be a live premiere. So if you're watching this right now, be alert that there is a video coming out later, and vice versa. If you're watching the video later, come back here to catch up on what's been said, because this is kind of like a news update. The video what I do later is a map analysis where we get very visual, the beacons, the markers, the timestamps, and I try and make sense of it all and share with you my ideas. So with that being said, without further ado, let's get straight into this post. Here we are. So it was actually reposted on the Noah Presgrove subreddit from Reddit, and it says post sourced from a public forum in Noah's Army Facebook page. So it will be the comment section of maybe a post on the Facebook page. It says the comment made by the owner of the home where Noah was last seen before he was found dead on the side of the highway. The last piece, and then it's quoted, which sounds very suspicious. Now, we're going to zoom on him so you get a closer look at what it actually says. So by the layout of it all, you can clearly tell it's the comment section of a post and not a DM. You know, in contrast to what we've seen previously. The name is blanked out, which is unfortunate, but whoever that name is, they are the owner of the property where that party took place. Just wanted to add in, a person did answer my question last night when I said, who does it belong to, the house? And some new viewer said to me, because they know a lot about the case, that it was Noah Presgrove's best friend, who's called Jack Newton. Jack Newton's girlfriend, the girlfriend owned this house, but I don't know if it's worded directly as the girlfriend literally owns and lives in that house, or it's meant as Jack Newton's girlfriend's parents that own it, and obviously the girlfriend lives within it because the daughter to the parents. It sounds a bit messy, that, but if anyone can, you know, correct or adjust it, right, because not enough details have been given there. But let's just read it from what the owner or the owners of the house have had to say. So, all the kids at this party are guilty, huh? That include your niece, HW? I don't know who HW is. If anyone can clear up these abbreviations, that would be helpful. Because she snuck out there, wasn't invited. So whoever the owner of the house is talking to, they're saying that their niece, called HW, wasn't even invited, but managed to get out there. to the party. The owner says, and I've got receipts to prove it. I love that girl to death, but no wasn't like, hey, come on out. Another boy there invited her, not the homeowner. My daughter took her home. Was Dee that night? What does Dee mean? Is that another person? Was like, hell nah. Your mom would kill me. Cops know that. Got her on mini-mart cam, so story checks out. And you're right. I highly doubt a bunch of teens and young adults could leave no evidence behind. I mean, we know how meticulous drunks are. Nothing sloppy about someone intoxicated at all, let alone a group of them. All of which don't clean their room for shit or wipe off a counter very well, but sure can a crime scene. Oh, and trust me, if some of us horrible parents had been involved, there wouldn't be a body in question. Yoda, whatever, never found anyone on the receiving end. And that is a effing fact. And yes, he most certainly deserved better. So Noah Presgrove. Yeah, so first and foremost, what I would like to say, what the actual hell is going on with the language, the sentencing structure, the punctuation, the spelling and all of that? It's abysmal. The way I'm reading it out like I'm back in nursery. Hello, my name is, well, Raf, we go to the... I mean, I don't know why people are typing so bad. Why are people so lazy? Now, of course, if it's heat in the moment, on the day, on the night, everything all unfolded and happened at early hours of the morning, yeah, people may be typing poorly because they're in shock, they're scared, they're concerned, they're crying, whatever, emotions. But this has been posted, I guess, long after from the way it is. Now, it says 2 hours ago. That would have been 2 hours ago at the time of when it was screenshotted. And I don't know exactly when it was screenshotted, but it has come about in recent time as it's been posted or reposted onto Reddit just recently. So I want to know your thoughts on the matter. So the way it's worded like this, saying if some of us horrible parents had been involved, so this person or people are the parents then, the parents of the girl, in which the girl is the girlfriend of Noah Presgrove's best friend called Jack Newton. So Jack Newton's girlfriend lives in that house where the party took place, and the people that own it would be Jack Newton's girlfriend's parents. Bit of a mouthful that, but I think I've understood it now. Now, the stuff up top, you know, some of it I don't know because I've not heard of it before. But the fact that some people were invited when the homeowners didn't, you know, consent to it, nor invited others out there, that's when things can go wrong to begin with. You start getting unwelcomed visitors at your home, whether you're there at the time of the party or not. That unknown, that uncertainty of who could come, who could tag along, and what could happen. See, when it comes to parties, and it can vary, but you can get invited to a party because you're friends with someone, you know someone, you trust them, vice versa, and another group of people too. You all get together, you have fun, it's nice. But then when you get some rogue visitors tagging along who may be there to cause trouble, or they might not get on as well with some people there, there's not that trust because there might be strangers to the people at their home, things can go wrong. Did Noah Presgrove get caught up in any of it? Any uninvited, unwelcomed guest showing up on over the party time? Because it did last 4 days, so who came, who left? Did anyone else come along? That's what I'm trying to figure out there. But when it goes on about saying how, talking about teens, young adults could leave no evidence behind. I mean, we know how meticulous drunks are, nothing sloppy about someone intoxicated at all. I think that might be being sarcastic, saying how young people, especially when they're drunk, you know, they're not exactly capable of tidying up after themselves. So what makes you think they would be an expert at disposing of a body like Noah Presgrove? Is that what it's trying to say here? Because then when the Jack Newton's girlfriend parents, or one of the parents, ends up saying that if we, the parents, were involved in killing and disposing of Noah Presgrove, it would have been done, a good job done. That is so weird to say. I'm going to read it out by itself again because it's just weird. Oh, and trust me, if some of us horrible parents had been involved, there wouldn't be a body in question. You'd never have found anyone on the receiving end, and that is a fact. So basically, these parents are basically saying that if they were responsible for killing Noah Presgrove, they would have done a good job and cleaned up after themselves, and no one would know, no one would find the body, nothing. It would be all cleaned up perfect. And they're saying that's a fact. The fact that these parents are confident in their own ability to kill and dispose of a young adult is quite concerning and questioning. Why would you even be thinking that to begin with, right? These people are saying, if we were involved, is that dropping a hint to say that they actually were? Would they be dumb enough to say that? Maybe not. If they're clever enough to dispose of a body and do a good job, I don't think they're dumb enough to just reveal it out publicly. But then again, when it comes to some other cases, people have slipped up at times. But nevertheless, to end their paragraph by saying, and yes, Noah Presgrove most certainly deserved better. How do you mean then? Deserved better in how he was treated in his final moments. Deserved better in that he should never have been killed or just passed away. That people should have been more respectful around him or something. Or do these parents basically mean that, you know, despite what happened to Noah Presgrove, he didn't deserve to be left on the highway rotting away like some kind of roadkill. No, he deserved a proper burial. The evidence needed a proper clean-up and not to be just left out in open. Because if we, the adults, are supposedly the bad ones, and if we were the ones involved, we would have done it just right. That's why it's coming across as. These parents are digging themselves into a hole. So that if it's ever investigated, if the police ever looked into this, they may even question the parents, the owners of that party home. And I wouldn't blame them, to be honest. You just don't really say this stuff. You're kind of digging yourself into a hole. And, you know, if you are innocent, truly innocent, and you are disturbed by what's happened, why would you even say anything like, oh, if I was responsible, then I would do a better job? You don't say that in that moment, because obviously it's going to make you look suspicious, the prime suspect. You just don't do that, especially at a time of a crime or an ongoing one. See, just to put things into perspective, because I have seen it myself, when it came to the Dylan Rounds case, right? Back in 2022 of May, the killer James Brenner, whether it be at the time or before the death of Dylan Rounds, James Brenner did have a conversation with people in a bar, I believe in Montello, Nevada. And he basically said to the people around him that if he ever was to dispose of a body, he would take it to a wash. Now, is that where Dylan Rounds was found at? No. Right, so how does it correlate? Well, the fact that James Brenner, who previously had a conversation about disposing of a body, which would basically mean either being responsible for the death of someone or assisting, aiding and abetting a killer, so being responsible in a crime. The fact that he said, you know, if he was in a situation that he would help, that he would dispose of the body, and that would be his go-to method. And although the location didn't match up with Dylan Rounds' body, the fact that James Brenner was responsible for the killing of Dylan Rounds speaks volume, right? So if a individual can just suddenly come up and say, you know what, if I was to dispose of a body, I would do it over there. And then fast forward onwards, they've been done for killing a person. Well then, when you look at this on screen here to do with Noah Presgrove, and you got the parents who owned the party house saying, if we were responsible, we would have buried Noah and we would have done a good job. Do you see the pattern? it's like they're trying to put the blame on themselves, or they're trying to drop clues and hints like mind games, messing about. Now, I know some people out there could say, it's not that deep. You're looking too far into it. Take in mind, I'm covering it from all angles. I do also understand that these people could just be just stating a scenario. Not that it did happen, but just a scenario in terms of what they would do. Just like one of those situations where people said, if you were on a sinking boat, what would you do? And then people say, well, actually, I would go and do this. I would go and save that person. Then I would jump off around the back. Did it actually happen? No. Would it actually happen? Who knows? But that's what they've got in their mindset, as do maybe the parents here. The house owners, I should say, the homeowners. So, yeah. But still, at the end of the day, when you're a fully grown adult, you should know what to say and what not to say and the timing of it. And this was poor timing. So anyone watching, leave your thoughts, your responses down below in the comment section. I'd like to know what people have to say. Moving on, we're just going to have a quick look at the autopsy diagram of the damage sustained to Noah Presgrove. Okay, in no particular order. Whilst you saw the text, this time we look at the visual aspect. So the external injuries, the outside, to do with the head. A 4x2 inch of scalp torn off the bone, as you see highlighted in red on top of the head. Then, working one's way down, grazes at the front of the face, cuts on the inner ear. And the grazes and cuts can range from the top of the eyebrow, the left eye, and the corner of the left eye, on the left cheek too, and lower down to near the jaw area. Supposedly, maybe a cut mark on the side of the neck as well. It says bleeding from both ears, and that will also be caused by the trauma and impact to the head itself, the skull with the bleed on the inside. It says that the mouth, upper and lower lips split, teeth broken, fragments in mouth, and of course some teeth loose laying on the ground where he was found. Cut on left side of tongue, grazes across the left eyebrow, corner of the left eye, left cheek, as yeah, I said that basically. As well, right back of the head, behind the right ear, and right back neck. Moving on. The internal organ damage of Noah Presgrove. The left atrium of the heart, left pulmonary vessels, both lungs punctured, spleen, stomach, internal bleeding around the heart, 150 millilitres, chest, 700 millilitres on the right, 500 millilitres on the left, abdomen, 200 millilitres. Skull fractures from the inside, as you see where the lines are the fractures. Quite a few of them, to be honest. The left temporalis muscle damage, I believe that's to do with the chewing of the jaw, damage there. Brain injuries, brain bleeding, bleeding above the skull, bleeding under the skull, bleeding around the brain, damage to brain tissue, left temporal lobe, left cerebellum, and deep into the brain stem. And, you know, even if all the damage or some of it was taken away and he managed to survive, blows and damage to the back of the head and the sides can definitely impact a person's memory and cause long-term damage. So even if Noah Presgrove was somehow miraculously lucky to survive it, you know, he wasn't paralyzed or anything like that, he could still have major trouble with his mind. So you see the extent. A broken neck, bone linking skull to neck broken right at the top, which is shocking. Neck broken at the C1 and displaced from the skull. Neck fractures at several vertebrae, C1, C2, C6, C7. I believe when they do the Cs, that depending which one it varies at, if it's been damaged, it can be game over, and that applies here. Broken back and ribs, both shoulder blades fractured, 10 rib fractures on the back, 9 vertebrae fractured in the upper and middle back, Vertebrae fractures, top-down view, T1, T4, T9, T11, T1 and T2 fractured. External injuries front. Patchy grazes across the left side of his torso. Grazes of various shapes and sizes, right arm and forearm, left elbow, right knee, right leg, side of left leg. So you get the idea there. Not completely covered, but still grazes. What could cause those grazes? Being dragged across the ground? Contact hitting the ground? External injuries to the back. Road rash across upper back. Grazes. Left upper back, left shoulder, back left arm, right buttock, side of the left buttock. So there's no breakages in the legs or ankles, and that's what's very interesting. That's it for the autopsy diagram and as well the text, well, the comment section. So just let me know all your thoughts there. I just wanted to catch up with that. Be on the lookout for my video later tonight. Live premiere will be coming about, so I'll see you there.